The Kaldrith Empire had conquered 47 star systems in less than a decade. Their warships were magnificent behemoths of dark metal and plasma cores, each vessel capable of glassing a planet's surface in hours. When their fleet emerged, from hyperspace at the edge of Earth's solar system, the Empire's commanders expected what they always found: fear, surrender, or futile resistance, followed by swift annihilation. They did not expect a warning. Rose Chen stood in the communications center of Luna Station, her fingers dancing across holographic interfaces as she monitored the incoming fleet. 23 years old, a xenolinguistics specialist, and humanity's first line of diplomatic contact. Her dark eyes reflected the amber glow of warning lights that had begun pulsing throughout the facility. "They're not responding to our hails," she reported, her voice steady despite the tremor in her hands. "Standard greeting protocols in 47 languages, including their own. Nothing." Beside her, Eliam Rodriguez leaned over the tactical display, his military uniform crisp despite the 14-hour shift he'd already pulled. As a defense coordinator, he'd spent the last 3 years preparing for this moment, running simulations that always ended the same way, with Earth buying time, evacuating who they could, and hoping humanity's colony ships would preserve their species among the stars. "Their weapons are powering up," Eliam said quietly. "Energy signatures match the patterns we recovered from the Velnor ruins. They're preparing to demonstrate their power." Rose's jaw tightened. The Velnor had been the Kaldrith Empire's most recent conquest, an aquatic species whose ocean worlds had been boiled away as an example to neighboring systems. The recordings humanity had found floating in the debris were nightmarish. "Send the final warning," she said. "All channels, maximum broadcast strength." Eliam nodded and activated the transmission array. Rose's message had been crafted carefully, over the past 72 hours ever since the Empire's scout ships had been detected. It was translated into Kaldrith High Tongue, encoded with cultural markers of respect and delivered with every diplomatic courtesy humanity could muster. It said simply, "Leave now. We have given you this one chance. Run while you still can." In the command throne of the flagship Devourer of Suns, Supreme Commander Thaxazul listened to the transmission and felt something he had not experienced in centuries: amusement. The bipedal creatures of this small blue world were warning them. The species still confined to a single star system dared threaten the Empire that had burned across the galaxy. "Destroy their moon station," he ordered with a dismissive wave of his primary manipulator. "Then we shall discuss terms of their servitude." The weapons officer hesitated, an unusual reaction that made Thaxazul's sensory fronds twitch with irritation. "Supreme Commander, our sensors are detecting unusual energy signatures throughout the system. There are structures on every planetary body, thousands of satellites, and the electromagnetic noise suggests significant industrial capacity." "And," Thaxazul growled, "they are primitives playing with atomic fusion. Fire." The Empire's forward dreadnoughts began charging their primary cannons, beams of coherent antimatter that could split continents, weapons that had never failed to break the will of those who opposed the Kaldrith. On Luna Station, alarms screamed. "Incoming fire!" Eliam's voice cut through the chaos. "All personnel, to evacuation pods. Rose, we need to go." Rose held up her hand, her eyes locked on her display. "Wait. We don't have time to— Wait," she repeated, and something in her tone made Eliam freeze. On her screen, new signals were appearing. Hundreds of them. Thousands. In the cold void between Earth and Mars, space began to shimmer. The Kaldrith. Weapons fired, lances of annihilation crossing the distance to Luna Station in microseconds. They struck an invisible barrier and simply stopped. The antimatter beams diffused against a field of warped spacetime, their energy scattered harmlessly into the cosmic background radiation. "Impossible," Thaxazul whispered, rising from his throne. "Sensors, what is that field?" "Unknown technology, Supreme Commander. Energy readings are—" The officer's voice rose in pitch, a Kaldrith expression of fear. "Void, take us. They're everywhere." The structures that humanity had been building for 3 decades revealed themselves. Orbital platforms that had masqueraded as mining stations deployed weapon arrays that made the Empire's arsenal look primitive. Asteroid bases lit up with power signatures that dwarfed the Kaldrith flagship's reactor. Most terrifying of all, the moon itself began to open. Massive sections of the lunar surface retracted, revealing construction bays that stretched hundreds of kilometers into the satellite's core. From these hidden shipyards emerged vessels unlike anything in the Kaldrith Empire's database. Sleek, warships built with technology reverse-engineered from a dozen conquered species, enhanced by human innovation and desperation, powered by reactors that manipulated dark matter itself. Humanity had spent 3 decades preparing for this moment. Every alien wreck they'd found drifting through space, every crashed probe, every fragment of advanced technology, they had studied it, learned from it, improved upon it. Earth had looked at the galaxy's history of conquest and made a choice. Never again would they be defenseless. "This is your final warning," Rose's voice echoed across every Kaldrith communication channel, calm and absolute. "We offered you mercy. We told you to run. You chose to stay." Eliam watched the tactical display as humanity's fleet moved to engage. 300 warships, each one a masterpiece of adaptive engineering. Behind them, Earth's defense grid powered up, a network of weapons platforms that could sterilize any approaching fleet. "Target their command ships," he ordered into his comm unit, his voice level. "Disable, don't destroy. Let them carry the message." The battle lasted 17 minutes. The Kaldrith Empire's fleet was not destroyed. Humanity had learned restraint, learned that genocide only bred more violence. Instead, their ships were systematically crippled, their weapons torn away, their engines disabled. When it was over, the mighty devourer of suns drifted powerless, its crew alive but utterly defeated. Rose opened a final channel to the Kaldrith flagship. "Supreme Commander Thaxazul, your empire has a choice to make. Leave this system and never return. Tell your people what happened here. Tell them that Earth does not conquer, but Earth will not be conquered." On his throne, surrounded by sparking consoles and the groans of his wounded crew, Thaxazul understood at last. These humans were different. They had endured, prepared, and built themselves into something the galaxy had never seen, a species that had learned from everyone else's mistakes. "Why?" he asked, his voice hollow. "Why didn't you destroy us?" Rose smiled, though there was no warmth in it. "Because, Commander, we're better than you. Remember that. Remember that humans gave you mercy when you gave none to others. And pray you never make us regret it." The Kaldrith Empire limped home, their ships barely functional, their pride shattered beyond repair. Within a year, 3 of their conquered worlds rebelled, inspired by the story of Earth's stand. Within 5, the Empire had collapsed entirely. Rose and Eliam stood together on Luna Station, watching the last Kaldrith vessel disappear into hyperspace. The defense grid remained active, vigilant. Humanity had shown mercy, but they would never again be caught unprepared. "Do you think they'll come back?" Rose asked quietly. Eliam shook his head. "Not them. But others will hear what happened here. Some will avoid us. Some will want to ally with us. And some will see us as a threat to be eliminated," Rose finished. "Yes." Eliam turned to face her, his expression grim but determined. "That's why we keep building, keep preparing, keep watching the stars." Rose nodded, her reflection ghostly in the window that looked out upon Earth, that small blue world that had refused to die quietly. "Humanity, fucking yeah," she whispered, using the old phrase that had somehow become their species' battle cry. In the depths of space, the galaxy was learning a new lesson. Earth was no longer prey. Humanity had claimed its place among the stars, not through conquest, but through the sheer refusal to surrender. They had been warned to run. They should have listened. End.